Chris John for KaijuPop.com, and today we're having a look at Republique episode 2, which has just popped up on the App Store if you have your season passes or you want to buy everything everything separately. Let's jump in here. The season pass right now on a 25% off sale if you're into that. Actually, I managed to pick it up for $8 because of some slight kerfuffle with their Kickstarter backers. But that's another story. This is right at the end of the game because I've just finished it, and it's just like, hey, continue. I don't want to continue. If I go into that elevator, it's just going to give you the end cutscene, as I just discovered, so I don't want to spoil it. So instead, I'm just sort of free to wander around, do what I want. So, Republique came out at the end of last year. It was a Kickstarter-backed stealth game from a lot of the people that did a lot of AAA stuff, Ryan Payton and the like. And I've got to tell you, I did not enjoy Republique episode 1. You can find a video that I made of it somewhere on YouTube. Also my review of the first episodes on KaijuPop.com. And I didn't like it because it was kind of a very clumsy stealth game, and kind of, it wasn't ideal from a writing standpoint, a character development standpoint, and it really was pretty clumsy as a stealth game. Republic Episode 2 is still clumsy as a stealth game. It's not all that much better. The core concept is still there and still good. So, there's two sorts of modes, so to speak. You're tracking this girl Hope with your cameras there, and tap on the top right icon, and then that lets you interface with different things in the environment. So I can hop between camera views, things like that. And then in this view, I can directly control Hope by tapping. The problem is that she typically will do what she wants to do anyway. There's some kind of AI there where she'll dart behind cover. The theory is she'll dart behind cover on her own without you having to worry about it. The problem is it's just really, really vague. You can double tap places, and then she'll kind of, in theory, move faster. Very often that move faster is not much faster than normal movement. See, that's normal movement. This is double time. It's not that much different, is it? They've added sort of visual indicators to the icons to make it easier to tell, oh, hey, you're going to make noise by doing this motion. But it's still pretty vague, and it's very, very difficult. Because you want precision from a stealth game. You might suddenly get spotted and want to dart behind cover. But once you're on a path, if I'm on a path here and then I go, oh wait, no, I want to go, no, I'm going to interface with that instead. Oh, she's confused. So it doesn't react particularly quickly, and certainly not as quick as you would like. If you had buttons and a stick and whatnot. It's also, there's generous contact patches on puzzle-based things. This was puzzle earlier on. We had to hit switches on these statues to open a door. But it's like, I just want to take cover behind that statue. Oh, but she's not going to take cover. She's going to head to that door. So I need to actually explicitly be on the correct camera angle to actually show the rear of this plinth so that she actually does take cover. It's not, she doesn't sort of intuitively go for that stuff, and I find that kind of irritating. It's like, I know there's a door over there, I just can't be bothered to change cameras, but I have to change cameras a couple of times, stopping the game as I do so, in order for her to actually see the door. Otherwise she'll sort of dither around, and it's a little bit annoying. Loading. But yeah, the main part of the game here, this is another thing that I find really annoying. Sorry, I mean, the whole idea of the game is that you can switch between the different camera angles. You are the director in this static fixed screen Resident Evil like old school stealth game, I suppose. In that regard, Resident Evil wasn't stealth, but you know what I mean. The problem is that sometimes the game just wants to show you stuff. So if I'm here, let's say there's a guard approaching from the right-hand side of the screen, well, where's she gone? And I just want Hope to move forward to see, to get around the corner. I want her to move on. But there's also somebody dangerous over here. I need to have this view so I can see whatever's on the sort of top right of your screen here. But if I move forward, the camera's going to jump cut. So I didn't control that. The camera just automatically cut to this to show me what it wants to show me, and that really sometimes sort of screws up your gameplay because it disorients you. And the number of times I've been caught here just because, see there, the course correction again. She started lurching into a run. Oh god, that's annoying. There you go. There's there you go, I've been spotted there. I had no idea. I have no idea. You can have no idea. I suppose I could switch to this camera first, but very often you don't have that ability to see into the next room before you move. And it's perfectly reasonable to expect, I can head into this room that's a separate section and be safe for a few seconds. But that doesn't happen. But it's okay, so, I've finished.
Let me go.
I've got a taser in my inventory here. There you go. So I've stolen his game cartridge. Just like the last game, there's sort of nice, throws to different other indie games and little ads for that. And I happen to have a taser. If you have a taser or pepper spray in your inventory, just like the last game, when you do get caught, you can automatically knock them out. So that's helpful. Yeah, it's just the game's full of tiny little irritations that haven't really been fixed since the last installment, and that's a real shame. I think in terms of story as well, there's not much that advances from the last game. There was an awful lot of setup in episode 1, and none of those threads really get advanced too far in this. And there's all sorts of... It's very sort of tonally confused, I think. Sometimes it's... the title of the episode is Metamorphosis, and there's lots of references to Kafka and that short story. And other things, like you find great works of fiction, that are supposedly the books that are being burned in this library. Ayn Rand and all the rest, Aldous Huxley, that kind of thing. So it's got these grand pretensions, but then parts of the script are incredibly condescending. There's one part where you solve a puzzle and Hope goes, "Oh, that's great, you're a natural at puzzle solving." And it's like, oh, okay. It's just sort of very tonally confused, I think. But yeah, what I do like about this is that there's a much more of a focus on puzzle solving in this game. It's actually a very small area. It's a smaller area, I think, than in the first episode. This is just around the library and things like that. I was going to hide in this hedge over here. I know that there's a guard somewhere around here, but I don't know where. Anyway, there's much more of a focus in this on solving 2 or 3 of the puzzles that are around, finding little bits in the environment there, and audio logs and things like that. This is actually part of a really cool puzzle that I've already done, so I'm not going to show it to you, but you have to hack into this computer here and find somebody's the answers to people's security questions by looking at exhibits in a museum. That's really cool. There's another bit where you're arranging a blueprint going to a 3D printer. So some of the puzzles in here really do make you feel a bit like a hacker, which is cool because for the main part, like the game is this very simple stealth that doesn't really work. It's all about if there's a guard on the other side of a piece of cover and you want to pick his pocket, so you click on him, 9 times out of 10, Hope will just run out in front of him and go, I'm about to steal your shit, rather than do anything clever. Some plants you can hide in, some plants you can't. Tapping at that plant, can't hide in that plant, can hide in other plants, but, I've been tased and that's it. It's got the same sort of mechanic as well, that when you're tased and taken away, you sort of wake up in a holding cell that's kind of the equivalent to just a checkpoint. There's actually sometimes where it's helpful to get caught, because it will sort of drop you, because everything in this episode is built around the library as a hub. There are some points where you have to sort of backtrack across, and it actually helps to get caught, so you get dragged off to a holding cell that's nearer your destination. So there's no real penalty for getting caught. It's just that, I'll have to do this again. And in actual fact, you can recharge your batteries in these holding cells. And she goes, I can recharge my battery in this holding cell. And if I head over here, there's actually the in-game shops where you get points for picking up pieces of information, and you use those points to buy little tricks. So this one lets you see, lets you see guards' paths. You can unlock the ability to hack emails, which are just kind of useless pieces of exposition. It's the only, you can see Prizvac through walls, which actually would be helpful given the issues that we've had before with the camera jump cutting and not showing you stuff. But for the most part, it doesn't really expand on the first episode mechanically, which is a shame because it's mechanically quite shallow. But it's also just kind of frustrating in the way that it's been delivered. I kind of like the new sort of adventure game style puzzles that are in here, because hopefully it means there'll be less stealth in later episodes, because the stealth is just kind of infuriating and frankly not very good. But it's still it's not to the point where I can recommend it. Certainly if you didn't pick up the season pass for really cheap, or if you don't have it already, there's not much in episode 2 that will win you over if you didn't like in episode 1. By contrast, if you did like episode 1, episode 2 is kind of more of that with some nice little puzzle ideas. So if you were a fan of episode 1, I wasn't, then you will like episode 2, so it's worth splashing the extra $5 or whatever it is. I guess it's just really doesn't appeal to me. It's clearly there's a lot of dedication and art put into it. The developer commentaries that are hidden around nodes. Let's see if we can find a commentary node here. You chance upon these commentary nodes that are hidden in the environment, and then you can click on them to actually pick up audio that isn't just what I like about those commentary nodes. They aren't just produced things with the developers sitting in a studio and saying, well, we did this in this part because of this. They're actually kind of, I don't know whether they're sort of phony, faux scripted versions of these, but they actually play out like you're listening in on design meetings as you chance upon something in the environment and saying, well, we should do it this way because of this. And that's really cool and really clever. There's an instance where it had to load the next area, so there would be no way of me seeing into. I can still steal stuff. You didn't see me. There's an instance where it had to load the next area, so there would be no way of me seeing that guard before I got caught, which is just it's just really frustrating. But yeah, it's not a great stealth game. Clearly has a lot of AAA sort of production values to it, and that's cool. But I mean, I think it's sort of there that will win over the mainstream gaming press because it looks just like a console game, but it doesn't play just like a console game. It plays like something that's not as good, in my opinion. But that's Republique Episode 2, Metamorphosis. Chris John for GuideYouPod.com. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.